Welcome to Ceph Studio video tutorials. In this video, I will show you how to trace model images and the different ways to import them. There are three ways to import the model images into Ceph Studio. And this first example that you're looking at, this is a flatbed scanned model. It's a plaster model placed teeth down on a flatbed scanner. You scan at 100% at whatever DPI you wish to scan at. In this case, we can see it was scanned at 288 DPI. So you just go into the calibration settings by double-clicking on this calibration ruler, and it should be film plane with whatever DPI you scanned at. If you scanned at 300 DPI, you would change this to 300. Then you could close and trace. It would be calibrated. Same thing goes for the mandible too. You have to calibrate the maxilla and mandible together. Usually they would be the same calibration. Now, that's the first way to import the model images, is to scan them on a flatbed scanner. The second way to import them is to use a digital camera and hold the digital camera directly, bird's eye view pointing down on it, and you also want to have a millimeter length ruler lifted up to the height of the teeth in the image as well. So I don't have that exact image, but I can show you an example of the calibration of that. So I have a calibration example image here, and let's place this where it would go in the maxilla. So let's say I'm going to trace this maxilla, and there'd be a maxilla image here, and this is a known 100 millimeter length of wire, or this is obviously a millimeter length ruler. So if we're going to calibrate this, we just choose our tracing tool to get our calibration ruler. And if we're going to calibrate to that wire, we need it to be film plane. We don't want it to be mid-sagittal. And this would be 100 if we're calibrating to this wire. Oh, sorry, wrong 100. I put the 100 in the DPI. That's not correct. I need it in the length, 100. We don't know what the DPI is. We're matching this ruler with this known length of wire, 100. Now we figured out the DPI is 211 on this image. Or same thing up here. If we don't have a known length of wire, maybe we have a millimeter ruler, just count it out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So same thing, we'll go to 40 millimeters. And same thing, this will match this. And then we'll get roughly that same calibration, right? So that's how you would calibrate here if you took a digital photo. You'd need a millimeter length ruler in the photos of the models, and you'd calibrate that way, and then you could trace. The third way to import models is by importing the direct digital STL files. So if you look here, I have some sample STL files. For example, that's a mandibular, that's a maxillary model. So if I import one of those models, if I just drag and drop this model into Ceph Studio, I'm just going to get that single maxillary model, but I want them both in occlusion. So I'm going to drag them both together. Let me go ahead and make a new session, and I'll put these models in a new session. I'll drag them both in, and it's going to ask me which is which. If the name's already in the model, it can figure it out. If you switch it, you see it switches the other for you. And there is our occlusal view of the models. You can see, rotate these around, You could unlock the view so that you can rotate just one independently of the others. Let's go ahead and reset. Okay, I'm going to zoom in, get this the way I like the look of it. And now I want to trace these. That will be my maxilla and mandible. I'll just click freeze dry. And I wanted to point out first, this is a new session. There's nothing in here right now. So in the 3D, when I freeze dry this STL, click freeze dry, it's going to create all these images, place them in the import section, and look, it even places them for me. And it calibrates them as well. So now I can go straight to the tracing, right to there, and I'm ready to begin tracing this. And we can see the calibration it did itself. It's 424 DPI, so it just figures that out from the STL. So when it's calling out, write MX6 distal. So, and this is a kind of a mirrored view. So there's the right MX6 distal and the right MX6 mesial, and then you just go on through and you're hitting where the teeth meet the contact points. So I'm just going to go through and do these real quickly. You can see I have them showing the labels. We can take the labels off. It gets a little busy. And then when I click this last one of this last point on the maxilla, it's going to take me, I'm clicking, it takes me right to the mandible. So now I'm doing the left MD6 distal. So again, it's mirrored. So there's the left MD6 distal, and continue on with the teeth contact points. A little overlap there. And nearly done. And when you're done, just back to the arrow tool, and there you have your tracings and your measurements show up. So you can highlight any measurement, see what it is. You have your measurement table. Of course, this is just the included model analyses. You can create your own, you can customize your own. When looking at the tracing, I can see this tooth is a little bit off, this tooth is a little bit off, so I can correct these. So let's go to correct. So I need to pull that down a bit. On this one, I need to pull that across a bit, more like that. So I can see that looks better. Oh, I can fix that. That one up here is a bit off. So more like that. Okay. And on the mandible, you have your curve. It starts as a catenary curve. If you just grab this main circle, it moves right into spot, and it stays as a catenary curve. Now, depending on the jawline, you can adjust that more, and you see it moves in unison. This is now you can adjust a Bezier curve, and it moves in unison. If you need it to move individually, like on this side, I need to pull this a bit out. It's not symmetrical. So you can hold down the shift key. If I hold down the shift key now and click this, see I can move just that side on its own. And then if I ever want it back, if I don't have the shift key clicked and I click on this one, it's just going to put it back to the starting point. See, it's back to that beginning catenary curve. That is the basics of models. If you have any questions or need more assistance with models, please contact us. You can email us or call us directly. All our contact details are there on the website. And I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much. Take care.